Hello and welcome to this hour of Tech Live. I'm Erica Hill. Coming up for you today, flight training gets better and more realistic. We'll show you the latest flight simulator. And this high-tech vessel may look like a stingray, but it just might be the next tool in preventing terrorism. Plus, do you need that morning cup of coffee, or do you find yourself with a headache? Well, we'll tell you just what the Java is doing to your brain. A very good afternoon to you on this Thursday. I'm Erica Hill. Topic our news today, trying to calm critics who say Microsoft is getting off too easy. The government is now reworking its settlement deal with the software giant. The biggest change will no longer allow Microsoft to use valuable hardware technology patents from computer makers without paying them. The modified settlement also clarifies Microsoft cannot modify the Windows desktop to discriminate against non-Microsoft products. U.S. District Judge Colleen Kolar-Catelli must decide in the coming months whether to approve the settlement. One of the leaders of the drink or die software piracy ring has pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges. 28-year-old John Sankis faces up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. This after admitting his role in the international piracy ring. Officials describe Drink or Die as a highly structured, security-conscious group which illegally copied and distributed software, games, and movies over the internet. U.S. Attorney Paul McNulty says such techno gangs are a threat to the nation's electronic infrastructure, and prosecutors expect to bring cases against other software pirates as a result of this investigation, which was codenamed Operation Buccaneer. Broadband may be one step closer to your living room. The House of Representatives passed a bill to help the Baby Bells roll out the high-speed service across the country. The Tozan-Dingle bill would allow telephone companies to sell high-speed internet access without opening their networks to competitors. It is backed by House Commerce Committee Chair W.J. Billy Townsend and Representative John Dingle. Supporters say it will help phone-based broadband services, especially in rural areas. Opponents, however, say the bill would only strengthen the Bell's monopoly hold on local phone service. And while it did pass in the House, the bill still faces tough opposition in the Senate. Drug smugglers go to great lengths to conceal their contraband, making it as tough as possible for lawmen to see their illegal shipments. But now U.S. Customs agents may actually be able to hear what's in containers with a new device that combines the benefits of an X-ray and sonar into one handheld device. The Acoustic inspection device can even tell the difference between Coke and Diet Coke. Seattle Bureau Chief Matt Markovich reports.
It's a game of hide and seek. Customs agents searching for contraband in shipments on the docks, at the airports, and at the borders. But agents can't look inside every container, drum, or tank car.
So we're going to try and find out what's in this tank car. Yeah, and the first thing we want to do is we want to determine the fill level.
So scientists at the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory in Richland, Washington, have designed an acoustic inspection device that can see inside containers of all sizes. We picked a random tank car.
The instrument could measure specific material properties, acoustic velocity and attenuation, and determine for the operator whether or not the fluid inside the tanker was indeed orange juice or whether it was liquid cocaine laced.
It's a kind of super sonar, sending out ultrasonic pulses and analyzing the return echoes.
Press the trigger, and the gun instantly sends sound waves through the tanker wall up through the liquid contents. It uses the fill level surface as a reflective surface. An echo comes back to the gun.
The timing and frequency of the echoes is compared to a database stored in a pocket PC attached to the unit. It tells what might be inside. In the case of this barrel, it was water.
I received 1.48, and water is 1.48. Diet Coke is 1.49.
Of course, the idea is to find stuff inside the barrel, like contraband. And contraband in this case will be this cement brick.
As you can see, that first signal is showing up way sooner than the signal we were getting with the water, meaning that there's something in there.
The nice thing is it's non-invasive and it's non-hazardous. It works similar to an X-ray. It's able to propagate through materials, but it's not hazardous to the user, and it's very easy to apply in the field.
The unit can also detect bulk solids, but it can't identify air-filled or gas-filled objects, and it can't see through double-walled containers. In the case of this tank car...
Now, we're not getting any echo back. That indicates that there's no fluid in the tanker car. We have an empty tanker car.
The U.S. Customs Service is testing the unit and will decide later this year whether it will deploy the acoustic inspection device. In Richland, Washington, Matt Markovich, Tech TV.
There is a contract pending to mass produce the acoustic inspection device. It will all depend, though, on those field tests by the U.S. Customs Department. For military pilots, a single mistake in the air can be costly. Flight simulators are tried and true ways to both reduce the risk and improve pilot performance. But the Air Force says it needs better simulators, like the one that Gary Nuremberg shows us now.
Erica, the weapon systems are changing so fast, the technology of war progressing so rapidly that it's difficult for flight simulators to keep up. In some cases, simulators offer realism so stunning that experienced pilots can't tell the difference. But not in every case, and that has the Air Force concerned. 2 Marines killed in the crash of a helicopter in Afghanistan last month, a stark reminder of how dangerous military flying can be.
6-1 is going down. 6-1 is going down.
Based on a true story, the movie Black Hawk Down has been showing those dangers to audiences this winter. A real-life pilot involved in that fight now spends his time as a consultant working on flight simulators used to train military pilots. But saying the flight simulators for some warplanes, the F-16 as an example, are inadequate and outdated, the chief of the U.S. Air Force Air Combat Command has called a simulation summit to address the problem.
Have we kept up? In some cases we've kept up. In other areas we haven't kept up as well, and that's where we're trying to put our focus and our resources.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
ENunn Corporation of Sterling, Virginia makes flight simulators for business and for the military. Crews for the B-1 bomber can get their training on the complex simulators ENunn builds for the Air Force. The cockpit is identical to the one on the real plane, one of the most sophisticated ever produced.
We'll go collect gigabytes of data.
The simulator is designed to recreate what a pilot would experience in a variety of situations in the cockpit.
We know that if you're at this airspeed, at this attitude, at this angle of attack, you should be feeling this on the flight controls. And so it's a big mathematical model that just represents those cues to the pilot.
It takes enormous computational power to mimic the complicated aerodynamics and render the visual displays. This is a simulation of the Dallas airport and surrounding area. Even the vegetation is exact. Tony Sim is the company president.
Deliver that amount of information in a real time. You have to hit cues right on time, like clockwork, so that they get almost an immediate feedback to any response that they did in the cockpit.
The next step in simulation is what the military calls distributed mission training, where several simulators in different places train together.
So that they can fly with one another or against one another. And also the inclusion of real aircraft flying in the air into one large synthetic training environment. That way you can produce full mission rehearsals. You can handle any situation that may occur.
This is not cheap. Simulators for simple business jets start at about $10 million. And obviously, Erica, for warplanes, it is much, much more.
Gary Nuremberg in Washington. With over 77,000 tons of radioactive waste beneath it, Yucca Mountain certainly lives up to its name. Plus, it promises to stop aging dead in its track, but not if it kills you first. We'll fill you in on the very latest Fountain of Youth claim.
Right now. Discover your dreams. Explore the unknown. Imagine a new tomorrow. Tech TV, the new television network about technology. Tech TV, television about technology.
Tonight on Tech TV, it's television's most entertaining technology show, The Screensavers.
This is the show where we make bad jokes and answer your tech questions. It's kind of marriage made in hell.
From games to gadgets to computers, see how technology can work for you on The Screensavers.
Fire it up!
The Screensavers, tonight at 7, 6 Central on Tech TV, television about technology. This program brought to you in part by IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level.
Think of e-business as a game. You got players, you got management, you got opponents who don't always play by the rules. This game takes strategy and the ability to move that metaphorical ball that is information with with more money on the line than in any other game that's ever been played. E-business isn't just a game, it's the game. So if you're going to play, play to win.
What would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix?
Let's go, baby. We're on our way to Lime Rock, premier Grand Prix racetrack around here.
Where else would you take a Grand Prix except on a Grand Prix track?
Let me see how you handle, baby.
Did I tell you?
It's so much fun.
Get out of my way.
This could so be our job.
Wait a minute, just drive around the three of us?
Well, no.
So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix?
None of us have ever been to AC.
Dinner, tuxes.
Tell us at Pontiac.com.
Elvis!
Tonight on Tech TV, it's an inside look at the latest breakthroughs changing your world. From transportation to communication, from sports to medicine, see what the future holds. Tomorrow's World, tonight at 6:30, only on Tech TV, television about technology. Tech TV, television about technology.
You've most likely seen ads for growth hormones that claim to help stop aging. But if it's true, why do mice with more growth hormone actually have shortened lifespans? Kurt Epstein reports.
With the average age of Americans now over 36 and climbing, products promising the fountain of youth are finding an eager market. Among the hottest products, human growth hormone enhancers. But does growth hormone reverse aging? Some recent research casts doubt on that claim.
There is lots of evidence that growth hormone can cause desirable changes in body composition. There is no evidence that growth hormone can prolong life in the human.
In fact, some different-sized lab mice tell a different story. Dwarf mice produce no growth hormone at all and live 50% longer than their normal siblings. At the other extreme, genetically engineered giant mice have an abundance of growth hormone, and they somehow get shortchanged on longevity.
These animals are beautiful and healthy when they are young. They sort of look like a personification of a super mouse. But then they deteriorate and they age very early and they live much, much shorter than a normal animal.
Bartkey says long-term human studies of the benefits of growth hormone therapy are still underway, while sizing up lifespan in mice suggests there are risks.
Our research in mice and research of many other groups dealing with growth and body size and aging would certainly suggest caution that promoting growth may not be the best thing for life expectancy.
Bartkey says there is one proven way to extend lifespan. Don't smoke, eat light, and exercise.
Bartkey expects some of the controversy will be resolved over the next couple of years with more information from human studies. The U.S. government says at least 15,000 people have died from cancer associated with radioactive fallout from nuclear weapons tests during the Cold War. This, according to USA Today, which is publishing parts of a soon-to-be-released report from the Department of Health and Human Services. The report also suggests 20,000 non-fatal cancers among people living in the U.S. after 1951 can also be linked to fallout from the test. And there's still a large amount of nuclear waste in the U.S., but an Idaho firm wants to use X-rays to revolutionize the way we dispose of it. And that could be welcome news for Nevada. A couple of weeks ago, you may recall, President Bush approved a recommendation to store 77,000 tons of radioactive waste beneath Yucca Mountain. Idaho's Nuclear Solutions wants to use the waste, not bury it. The company is developing a method called photodeactivation. The process would render radioactive waste harmless by bombarding it with X-rays. But Nuclear Solutions CEO says that is just part of the benefit.
The real beauty of the process is that it produces a lot of heat that we in turn, we recover that heat and use it to produce electrical power. So the end result is that we have a process for generating clean, safe, cheap nuclear power that just happens to burn nuclear waste.
So how long before we see a photodeactivation plant up and running? Brown says it will take 2 to 3 years and cost $50 million to build a pilot plant. The test facility, would handle 6 tons of nuclear waste a year and could generate 50 megawatts of electricity. That's enough to light about 50,000 homes. He said, however, it's too early to say when commercial plants, which would use up to 3,000 tons of waste a year, might be built. The need for speed. Every surfer has it, no matter how fast your connection. So how can you optimize yours? We'll find out next.
break out of your humdrum existences. The atom becomes the flower, becomes the ox, becomes the man. We all must change. The world needs change. You, sir, you must change.
Chevy Avalanche, the only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup. There's also Motor Trend's 2002 Truck of the Year.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Chevy Avalanche, like a rock.
Attention computer users, Computer Fair is back this Saturday and Sunday with hundreds of exhibitors slashing prices beyond belief.
I got a really great deal on a 64 meg AGP GeForce 2 for $58.
Today I got a case, power supply, a couple of DVDs, and a fan.
Find more than you could in 100 stores. Computers, printers, monitors, multimedia, modems, memory, software, books, supplies, furniture, thousands of games, and much more at a fraction of the price. Computer Fair, Saturday and Sunday at the Fairplex in Pomona. Admission is only $7.
You are a cyber mom. You print birthday invitations, chart the family finances, digitize class photos. You need more memory, sister. Don't let your system slow you down. A memory upgrade from Crucial.com can speed up your computer and help you reclaim those precious minutes. You are a cyber mom. Crucial.com. The memory experts.
The new 255 horsepower Infiniti i35 with the most powerful engine in its class. Don't blink. More power, more grace, more I. The new i35 from Infiniti.
A slow net connection can be frustrating, to say the very least. But did you know with just a little tweaking, you can actually shift your surfing speed into higher gear? Much like souping up your car, though, it should be done with care. Joining us now with some tips, Bill McCrone. He is editor-in-chief with Extreme Tech. Good to have you back on TechLive. Good afternoon.
Good to be here.
All right, Bill, tell us, how can we measure the actual speed of your net connection? Because I know sometimes you can say, oh, I have such and such connection, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is the speed that you're really getting.
Well, your browser will tell you your download speed, which is a pretty good indication of how fast the bits are coming through on a streaming or continuous basis. But there are lots of things that can get in the way of the process.
What are some of those things that get in the way?
Well, worst of all is a bunch of hops. If your connection is going through a lot of routers, each one adds so many milliseconds of delay. So even a fast connection can give you a lot of latency or delay in getting the packets from them to you.
So that's one of the things that you probably need to find out, too. If you feel your connection is just incredibly slow and slower than you think it should be, find out just how many hops, as you say, there are.
Right, and you can do that with the ping utility or the traceroute utility. And we have an article online that describes all of this, but better is you can actually use downloadable, easy-to-use utilities that will speed up your connection, at least do everything possible on your end of the wire to make it as fast as possible.
You mentioned we can download some of those things. It's also part of your speed involves the hardware that you're using, correct?
Yes, a better NIC, network interface card, will give you better speed. You know, if you buy an on-brand, well-known product, chances are it's made with better quality components and better state-of-the-art than the $29 no-name brand.
Talk to us a little bit about where your ISP fits into all of this. Is there a difference between the different service providers?
Well, sure. I mean, you can't go shopping for cable providers, and you probably can't go shopping for DSL providers. You're stuck with the one that handles your region. But you may find significant differences in dial-up providers.
Wait, I'm sorry, continue.
Only that some of them use better modems and have better modem pools or have cleaner lines than other providers. So you may find by shopping around that one provider has a higher quality service and faster service than another.
So for someone, though, who may not be familiar with what constitutes a higher service, what are some of the things that consumers could look out for when they are shopping around for an ISP?
Well, probably the best thing is word of mouth. Ask other people who are using a service, find out how much uptime you're getting, find out what kind of speeds they're getting. Somebody would be happy to show you, I'm sure, if you just drop by, well, let's download a file and see how long it takes.
We know there's some software out there, too, that promises to tweak your connection. It doesn't always work, or does it? Give us the lowdown on this one.
Well, we went through, in the course of preparing this article, we went through about a dozen different products, and we found 3 that we liked. 2 that we liked a lot, 1 that we liked okay for using dial-up connections, and 2, Tweakmaster and CableNut, which are good for your high-speed connections.
So there are ones out there that do work, and we can find out more, as you said, in the article. Bill McCrone, thanks so much for being with us today on TechLive.
My pleasure.
Bill is editor-in-chief of Extreme Tech. Video conferencing. It offers that face-to-face meeting without all the expensive travel, but the programs have been pretty limited until now anyway, to just one-on-one communication. Brett Larson, though, briefs us on the latest in video conferencing software.
Many of us have experienced cutbacks in corporate travel, but we still need to spend quality face time with clients and colleagues around the world. Reality Fusion's TeamView helps to fill that void. It's video conferencing software that allows for more than just 2 participants. To start, you simply need to download the 5 megabyte software file. If you're the one organizing the meeting, you're also the one footing the bill, at a cost of 40 cents per person per minute. After setup, the software transports you to the lobby, where you click into your assigned meeting room. Up to 6 people can participate in a conference. Of course, those attending the meeting need to download the TeamView software, as well as install and configure webcams and microphones. Not all at once. If you have something to contribute, click Raise Hand. Once everyone is in attendance, the Auto Talk feature allows anyone to talk at any time. Of course, like a regular meeting with everybody talking, it can become difficult to understand anyone, so you might want to initiate a hand-raising system. There is also a simple IM feature, if you don't care to interrupt. If you want to change your video conferencing experience, you can adjust the conferencing software skin. Don't get confused. The TeamView version of skin differs from that for, say, your software-based MP3 player. In TeamView's case, it refers to different configurations and sizes. You can change the resolution and layout of your interface to fit different tastes and preferences.
All of us in the lab preferred this 1024 by 768 option.
Obviously, there's a bit of latency between the video and the audio, and we're on a high-speed connection. You should keep that in mind. Of course, the most integral part of any presentation is your visual material, and unlike competing products like NetMeeting, TeamView lacks the ability to share files or communicate via a whiteboard. So to make a lasting impression, you'll have to stick to more traditional methods. All in all, while the software doesn't compare to that in-the-flesh presence, Reality Fusion TeamView offers corporations and businesses a great way to save a little money on travel expenses, but we would like to see the inclusion of some communication tools such as whiteboard or file transfer.
For Reality Fusion TeamView 3.0, here's what we liked. It's easy to set up, offers a clean interface, and is reasonably priced. On the downside, the sessions are not SSL encrypted, it lacks collaboration tools, and the IM client lacks advanced features. The price is 40 cents per minute per user, or you can purchase a yearly membership. They run from $360 for 1,200 minutes to $1,080 for 3,600 minutes, which we in the labs think is pretty reasonable. Reality Fusion's TeamView 3.0 is available now, and in the Tech TV Lab's final star rating, this service receives 4 out of 5 stars.
And, of course, you can find out more at our website, head to techlive.com. Just ahead, we've got a TV for you that uses wireless technology in a very unique way. That and more next.
What am I to your small business? I'm a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for just $699. A serious upgrade in power without the annoying upgrade in price. But look closer. What I really am is a better way for your business to do business. Customized to fit your needs and backed by award-winning service and support on the phone or online 24/7. Allow me to grow your business. I'm a Dell Dimension desktop powered by the Intel Pentium 4 processor for only $699. I'm much, much more than business as usual.
Get great deals on Dell Business desktops, notebooks, and servers. Right now, save up to $300 on select Dell Business systems. And get a Palm PDA or a free Epson printer with select business systems.
Small business technology. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Do you need to learn how to operate a computer? Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. You know, our product is quick and it's easy to learn with, and you can try it for free. You know, over the years, millions of people have learned how to operate the computer using our product. We get happy letters every day from people thanking us. But the most rewarding thing for me is having people stop me on the street and telling me how easy it was to learn with our product. If you just want to learn how to run a computer once and for all, save yourself a lot of time and energy, try our product. Let me show you how simple this is. You put this CD in your CD tray. The lesson plays right on your computer. It works just like a VCR. Just follow the step-by-step instruction. I'm so confident this product will work for you, I'm going to send it to you free. The reason I'm going to do this is because I know once you try our product, you'll come back to us for all your computer learning needs.
To get your free computer learning CD, you must call now. Call 1-800-307-6054.
In hair loss technology, it's impossible to tell who is a hair club client.
I am.
And who's not. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB for this free hair loss booklet and arrange to speak to a hair loss expert today. With some of the latest breakthroughs in hair loss technology, you really can't tell you've ever had a hair loss problem. And that's the point. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now, and you'll be happy to say, I am. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now.
Too many cables clogging up your entertainment center? Well, our labs understand. Tech TV Labs Director Andrew Hahn joins us now with a look at Information Display Technology's wireless TV, the Loose LCTV 1041 FNS.
I don't even want to say cables either. I'm so sick of them. But that name.
That name, though, I'll say cables over that name. That's a long name.
That's a long name. It's a little like a Panasonic name. The Panasonic names are a little bit like pie charts, you know, just sort of strewn together.
So should we just call this guy the wireless TV?
Yeah, that's what we should call it, the small wireless TV. So what is this thing from Luce? Well, basically, it looks like a little bit like a notebook with its screen turned on backwards. But what it is you know, most LCD TVs like this either get their connection through some sort of wire, like, you know, composite component, whatever that is. And this actually has all those in the back. I'll show you what the back looks like. So starting all the way over here, you've got, you know, audio and your component input, S video, and then there's the component video right there. So that was composite over there. So that's how that works. But over here is the wireless connection, that little thing there. That connects to a base station, which is actually over here, and you get your TV from that. So you can leave this on your console in your living room and put this up, they say, up to 60, 70 feet in your house. So we tested this in the lab, and as you can see, the screen looks pretty good sitting right next to it, which is the way they demonstrated it at CES. But move this anywhere out of range, and you begin to get all the flickeries. Look at that. See, oh, that's not so good. Especially with audio, that's not good at all.
This isn't even far away. That's not even 2 feet.
I know, and if you get even further, it gets worse. So, I mean, you can imagine.
So you're saying 60 feet, not so much.
60 feet, we tried, not so much. You know, 60 feet away from your console, you don't want to be sitting that far away from it anyway. You know, you want those good rays hitting you from your, I don't know, DVD player. So
you're going to get the radiation, you want to feel it.
Right, you want to feel the radiation. So, you know, we're not necessarily recommending this. In fact, we're not recommending it at all. I think it's probably one of the worst products I've seen for the price range. It's $1,100, which is ridiculous.
Wow.
I mean, a 10.4-inch LCD with a notebook is, I mean, they have 14-inch notebooks that are $1,000.
You could get a really nice TV for $1,100.
You sure could. You can get an 802.11a card to connect to your notebook. And then, so anyway, so you know, there's a lot of reasons why this is not such a good product. Well, let's go through some of the things. It's an LCD panel, as I said, 800 by 600 resolution. They say it supports HD, you know, so high definition, you know, signals, which I guess it could. But the thing is that LCD panels, we're telling you right now, LCD panels make bad TVs. Don't buy a TV that's an LCD. And there's a reason for that. Motion vector, like, you know, fast motion on the screen, just doesn't work well with LCDs. They don't have a response rate that's really good for that.
Okay.
You should leave that to a regular TV or a plasma display, something like that, or a DLP display like we've talked about. LCDs don't cut the mustard when it comes to that. So, you know, overall, this product is pretty interesting. It's a, you know, 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, so you're going to have problems with your microwave as well. So there's a lot of problems with it. You want to go to pros and cons?
Hey, why not?
All right, let's go to pros and cons because I'm done talking about this thing.
You have some pros, though, and that's good, Andrew.
I do have pros. You got to have pros for everything. There's something good with everything. Wireless video input is cool. Screen reverses, and I showed that in the tease. I should probably show that when we get out of this. Cabinet, it's cabinet mountable, so you can turn it upside down, mount it to a kitchen cabinet, save all that space in your kitchen. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool,
It is cool. So in terms of cons,
The number one con right off the top is the poor quality, especially different distances over 10 or 15 feet. The small screen 10.4, that's not good. And there are interference problems between walls and things like that. It's $1,100. It's available now, and boy, I wouldn't buy it. Let me show you though, if we can just get out here.
Yeah, show us how
Let me just show you. There's the regular screen there. Whoop! You turn it over, and it switches.
Oh, and it automatically adjusts.
It's pretty neat.
So this is basically what, if you did have it mounted under your kitchen cabinet, it would be just like this.
Right, exactly. And then you could just like flip it up
right out of the way
and get it out of your way. But you know what? It's junky. It just like doesn't feel like it's well made.
Well, the other thing that's tough with an LCD screen, if you're using that in your kitchen, let's say you turn a little bit, and with a regular TV you can go back and see it. You can't
That's
because
not
of the
good.
screen.
Right. If you look at it from the side, the angle of viewing is terrible with it. Also, the speakers in the front, they're 1 watt each, but they're pointed down, so not even at you. Come on, these guys, they got to make a better product.
I tell you, you're driving Andrew crazy
I
in the
know.
labs here.
I like a lot of products.
Okay, well, if we want to find out more reasons why you're just so enamored with this bad boy, we can find it at techlive.com, correct? Excellent. Andrew Hahn, Tech TV Labs Director, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, it may look like a Stingray, but we should tell you, under the hood, this next thing we've got up for you is stocked with state-of-the-art electronics that may one day even stop a terrorist attack. That story and more when Tech Live continues.
Coming this April, the Tech TV. For the first time on television, Tech TV's 2002 Technology Festival. A month of amazing television about the technology impacting your life. And gadget giveaways every day, all month long. From communication to transportation, from medical breakthroughs to the world of sports, technology is changing the way we live, work, and play. And Tech TV is the television network that covers it all. And during Tech TV's 2002 Technology Festival, you'll see it all like never before. Also in April, don't miss Tech TV's great gadget giveaway. Every day, all month long, a new chance to win flat panel monitors, PDAs, digital cameras, and more. It's all part of Tech TV's 2002 Technology Festival, coming this April, only on Tech TV.
Right here, right now.
The new 255 horsepower Infiniti i35 with the most powerful engine in its class. Don't blink. More power, more grace, more I. The new i35 from Infiniti.
Right here, right now.
Pushing farther. Reaching higher. Moving at the speed of light. Tech TV, the new television network about technology.
Here right now.
Tech TV, television about technology.
Gina? You know, when I was first hired, we didn't have all these fancy integrated systems. Our sales program wasn't even linked with accounting. Warehouse platform in Chicago wasn't linked to anything, not even shipping. Back then, orders took days. Now, they just take hours.
Wow, how long have you been working here?
A couple of months now.
When software quickly connects all your business systems, that's 1 degree of separation. That's business with .NET from Microsoft.
Looking to start a large high-tech business? Head east, young man. You'll get the most for your money in Baltimore. A new study from the Body Company found for a 125,000 square foot office with 500 workers, Baltimore is your best bet. The whole package will cost you $34.4 million a year. Now compare that to the most expensive city, San Francisco. Total cost right here in the tech hub, $43 million. Next on the list, New York, followed by Boston, Stamford, Connecticut, and Princeton, New Jersey. You can now apply for student loans, file a patent, and even book a campground site at the new government website, firstgov.gov. The improved site, unveiled today by Vice President Dick Cheney, strings together 35 million federal web pages, along with state and local government sites. Cheney says visitors can find what they're looking for with just 3 mouse clicks. The old site relied on a search engine to guide people, giving visitors sometimes too much information about one subject. A new tool finds anything from sunken treasure to bombs still aboard a sunken ship. Seattle Bureau Chief Matt Markovich shows us a remote-controlled submarine with a shape inspired by a sea creature.
Freighters bring a fortune of merchandise into U.S. ports every day, but ships are vulnerable. We've all seen the damage a bomb blast can do. So how do you prevent the death and destruction and other dangers? One answer: go underwater. The Nova Ray is a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV, designed to spot threats, bombs, or undetected damage below the waterline.
Inspecting ships that might be leaking cargo and that sort of thing. So there's a real broad range of applications, but in this specific application, it's mostly security.
The craft is made by Nova Marine Exploration of Kirkland, Washington. It uses side-scanning sonar and a video camera to inspect the hulls of ships at anchor or underway. This ROV is different from others of its kind. The designers adapted the wing shape of a stingray, allowing the craft to be towed in a controlled glide, or it can operate independently. The Nova Ray also includes a heads-up visualization system made by Microvision, not unlike the display pilots wear over the eye, giving the craft's operators real-time data on the watercraft's speed, depth, and direction.
So if you need to know what direction that vehicle's going, it's right there. You don't have to go looking at a monitor and fishing through a complicated display.
The Nova Ray's builders hope their creation will be flying underwater in the nation's seaports very soon. In Seattle, Matt Markovich, Tech TV.
Marine Exploration is marketing the Nova Ray to shipping lines and agencies like the Coast Guard. The Nova Ray also has applications for exploring underwater shipwrecks, but we should tell you the inexpensive portable craft, while it does offer a new option for treasure hunting companies, so far, no one has bought the system. Thanks to the wonders of webcasting, you can tune into your favorite radio station, whether it's being broadcast in Paris or Peoria. But copyright concerns may soon have internet radio singing its swan song.
Introducing the world's first truck with four-wheel steering. The new GMC Sierra Denali with 325 horsepower and quadra-steer. Beats everybody, forwards and backwards. From professional-grade people come professional-grade trucks.
The compact Rosario 5000 TPC has something for everyone. For film buffs, a free DVD drive, or for music buffs, a free CDRW drive. For technology buffs, an Intel Pentium 4 processor with power to burn. And burn and burn. Yep, it's a buff PC all right, and it's just $7.99 after a $50 instant rebate. So, financial buffs, call 1-800-336-1416 to buy now and get a free DVD or CDRW drive.
So we're expanding our e-commerce site. Traffic's growing, huge market. We needed more servers, more bandwidth, more everything. And we had to hit quick. Buying servers and co-locating wouldn't work. Too slow. Who has 6 weeks? You know who I called? Rackspace. Because Rackspace Managed Hosting does it all. I called Rackspace and boom. Next day, our site's up on managed servers in their data center. Totally secure, no hassles. And they supported us 24/7, guaranteed. No long-term contracts, no equipment to buy, no nothing. Look, if you need web servers with serious bandwidth, and especially if you need web servers fast, you need to call Rackspace right now. You'll be on the web, same day, instantly expandable, 1 server or 20. Check them out. Call 1-800-961-2888 or go to Rackspace.com for the whole story. Rackspace, it's how you get web servers now.
It was a big night for bluegrass at last night's Grammys, topping off a good year for the music biz. So what were the biggest developments in the music industry in 2001? The editors at Grammy.com have a list, and every item involves new technology. Issues we've covered all year right here on TechLive. The big watersheds in 2001, according to the site, major labels go online, launching MusicNet and PressPlay to compete with Napster and the like. Peer-to-peer file sharing thrives after Napster, thanks to sites including Music City and Kazaa. Labels try to stem the ripping and trading of music tracks as secure compact discs make their debut. Digital audio turns it up a notch as DVD audio catches on. And musical choice gets a boost with the launch of satellite radio services XM and Sirius. And in a move that could make next year's list, 2 U.S. senators are proposing your next PC come with anti-copying technology. A Senate committee is holding hearings on a proposed bill that would force computer makers to install the software. It's sponsored by Senators Fritz Hollings of South Carolina and Ted Stevens of Arkansas, and it has the support of the music and film industry. Consumer groups oppose the bill, arguing it gives the government too much control over new technology. But things could also be changing online. Right now, internet radio stations do not pay royalties when they play a song. But a new copyright proposal is looking to change that. Webcasters say they simply can't afford it. And as Chris Kosatz explained, this could mean the end of your favorite internet stations.
Daphne Domingo loves internet radio. She listens every day at work.
Oh, I love this song. It just gives me a nice flow for me during the day and a comfort. After I've traveled, sometimes I feel nostalgic and I want to feel a connection, and so I can listen to a local French radio station.
But the U.S. Copyright Office is considering a royalty proposal that might disconnect Daphne from her favorite net radio stations. A special panel recommended last week that online-only webcasters pay 14/100ths of a penny for every song streamed online. They pay nothing now. That tiny fraction adds up. America Online says it streams 160 million songs per month. Under the proposed rule, AOL could end up paying about $224,000 a month, $2.6 million a year.
Hey, I'm Nicole, and this is Radio Free Sydney.
Worse for webcasters, the proposal would make the rate retroactive. Online radio companies could owe tens of millions of dollars, money they simply don't have.
I've talked to a lot of the other webcasting companies in the last few days, talking to them about the way they were approaching this, and many of them are considering not going forward, closing down.
John Jeffrey is an executive vice president for Live365.com, an internet radio portal that hosts 45,000 independent webcasters. Like most internet radio stations, Jeffrey is stunned by the recommendation and plans to fight it.
We were poised to be cash flow positive before the end of 2002. With the new rate being set in the way that it's set, that'll be much further out.
Jeffrey says he wants what's fair, the same deal traditional radio stations have now. Currently, a typical broadcast station pays a small percentage of yearly revenue to publishers. Top stations pay about $750,000 annually to play songs over the air. But the Copyright Office might make life more expensive for broadcasters, too. Under the new proposal, traditional radio stations will have to continue to pay their annual royalty fee in addition to their webcasting fee. Nevertheless, they do catch a break. Streaming your radio station over the internet will be only half price. Andre Pessis wrote this hit for Bonnie Raitt. He loves the net and even plans to build a website showcasing his work, but he still needs to earn a living.
Well, I think no matter what happens to a song, if it's broadcast or streamed or downloaded, that the songwriter needs to get paid. It's only fair.
Pestis says the controversy that started with Napster, how to pay creators when music becomes free, is not over. He thinks the music industry is taking advantage of people like him.
They see this new technology as an avenue to make a greater profit than they've been making. Now, I don't fault businesses for wanting to make a greater profit, but they're overdoing it. And we're the ones in the middle.
But the Recording Industry Association of America says the webcast royalty proposal will help songwriters get their fair compensation. But webcasters insist their battle isn't over.
We're still hopeful, and we think that it's very possible that the Library of Congress will review this decision and will bring a few more elements into it to make it fair to startup businesses like ours.
In the meantime, many startup internet radio stations have already shut down. Lots of internet radio lovers like Daphne.
Okay, I haven't heard this in so long.
Will be unhappy.
I'd be devastated. It's become part of my work culture.
Whenever, wherever.
One more thing may change, too. To keep your favorite internet radio station alive, it may no longer be free.
We should tell you, though, this is not a done deal. There's currently a 60-day comment period, and after that, the Copyright Office in Congress will make their final decision on the online royalty rates. Computer software is solving a mystery from the last century. It's often tough to tell just who played on vintage jazz recordings, but now 2 jazz detectives from North Carolina are trying to match anonymous musicians with the old melodies. Rick Lockridge shows us how the song sleuths are doing it.
Jazz great Dick Beiderbecke played a lot of memorable solos before the bootleg gin got to him and killed him before his 29th birthday. But did he play this solo? This and many other mystery recordings from the early days of jazz have given aficionados something to argue about for 80 years. But now, a pair of self-styled jazz detectives think technology can help them solve some of those mysteries.
Now, this is the one we think is probably Dick Beiderbecke.
Tom Smith, music professor and jazz trombonist, says it's time to set the record straight about a lot of records.
There didn't seem to be enough attention paid to detail in jazz history, and a lot of times it became, as one of my professors once said, the lie that was agreed upon.
Oh, baby, won't you please come home?
During the Prohibition era, Smith says, record producers often tried to pass off the work of unknown imitators as the product of stars like Beiderbecke, and largely they got away with it.
At that time, people never really believed that jazz recordings would be anything that anyone would care about 40 or 50 years down the line.
But recent advances in voice recognition technology convinced Smith and research partner Gary Westbrook that there must be a way to measure every horn player's unique voice or tone.
The things that are going to make you and I sounding different on the same instrument different is just the makeup of our face, the makeup of our chambers of our body, the diaphragm, the amount of breath support that we're capable of bringing to the sound.
The pair settled on sound wave analysis software by Spectra Plus, usually used to test loudspeakers. Software measures frequency, low notes on the left, high on the right, and loudness. How loud are you at certain frequencies? That's your tone. Westbrook randomly samples each mystery soloist 3 times, then compares the data with a known soloist on another recording.
There's no statistical difference between the two.
But the colorful characters from the early age of jazz often seem to be trying to evade detection. Take this second solo from the same recording. Listen for the obvious missed note. Would a great cornetist like Bix botch it that badly? Smith says it's possible.
He was a chronic alcoholic. He had a lot of emotional problems.
I think Bix would probably be very embarrassed by it all. He probably thought 20 years after his death no one would ever listen to him play again.
But he was wrong. And Smith says it's important to solve all mystery recording cases now, not just to give the musicians their due, but because, he says, it'll be important to future music lovers to have an accurate history of that extraordinary era.
Otherwise, this is going to be guesswork forever, and the lie that is agreed upon will become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And so, on the campus of tiny Pfeiffer University, north of Charlotte, jazz detectives prepare to publish their findings and prepare for the controversy that will surely follow, because they know there are a lot of jazz lovers who hold strong opinions. They've already heard from some of them, but they are determined to put some of those old records in order. Rick Lockridge, Tech TV, Meisenheimer, North Carolina.
All right, do you jumpstart your day with a cup of joe? Ever have a headache on morning? Do you miss that caffeine jolt? Doctors may now know why. We'll fill you in after the break.
Bringing this brand new car around today. It's called the Pontiac Vibe. Sounds like a party wagon. How you guys like it?
I love it.
Yeah?
It's pretty fat, yeah?
It's a fantastic car.
I'm a vibe girl. Yeah.
Big, oh, sweet. Look at that. AC connection.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can see it zipping around town.
This is the road trip mobile.
Look at this.
I like that. Sounds sharp.
I like the silver.
Control, circles.
It's built real tight, you know? This is my kind of ride.
Meet the new Pontiac Vibe.
Moo. For the latest technology at incredibly low prices, just call 1-800-GATEWAY. Because right now, you can get a Gateway 500 SE desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor, CD burner, and more for just $9.99. Or get the incredible Gateway Solo 1400 SE notebook. Perfect for the person on the go. It's also just $9.99. So call 1-800-GATEWAY or visit your local Gateway store today.
That's 1-800-GATEWAY.
Like Depeche Mode. One Night in Paris, The Exciter Tour 2001, a live concert film by Anton Corbijn. Relive Depeche Mode's triumphant 2001 World Tour, premiering Friday, March 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern on direct ticket pay-per-view on DirecTV. Order now with your remote. Spend one night in Paris with Depeche Mode.
Your turn to play bad cop?
No. Good cop and bad cop left for the day. I'm a different kind of cop.
What's a good cop?
What people want is to make it to their cars without getting mugged.
What's a bad cop?
If some cop roughs up some guy.
Too late, D-Man. Looks like you got some kind of third ad going down there.
It's don't ask, don't tell.
What's justice?
Mackey's not a cop. He's out of Capone with a badge.
TV you'll never forget.
The police!
The Shield, coming this March to FX.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the same guy that designed this designed our network.
Can't be.
Why?
Because that hasn't crashed for like 700 years.
You can't log on either?
Infrastructure. It's what e-business is built on. Make sure yours has a solid foundation. Click IBM for your free guide, because sooner or later, it matters.
NASA is hoping for warmer temperatures tomorrow morning in Florida. The National Space Agency scrubbed today's launch of the Space Shuttle Columbia, its mission to upgrade the Hubble telescope. It is now set to launch on Friday morning at 6:22 Eastern Time. Engineers are worried temperatures in the 30s could cause problems for the O-ring seals. After the Challenger disaster, NASA installed heaters on the O-rings, but mission planners don't want to take any chances with them cracking. Panasonic's latest digital palmcorder multicam transforms itself, not just your pictures. Brett Larson shows us how it does it in a snap.
You know, hanging out at the wharf in San Francisco on a rainy day, you're bound to see something, but you don't want to have a digital camera and a digital video camera handy to make sure you capture everything. That's where Panasonic's new PVVM202 comes in handy. It's a digital video camera that offers megapixel still image resolutions and another unique feature. All right, here's what caught our attention in the lab about this camera and what makes it different from other digital video cameras. It can actually shed a few pounds, okay, a few ounces. You can snap off the base of the camera where you're going to hold your video cassette, and what you're going to replace it with is this. This is an attachment that has a flash in it that makes the camera work as a digital camera, and it gives the ability to have a flash. Snaps right in there on the bottom, then you put the battery into the base, and then what you have is a digital camera and this, something holding your videotape. It's got a Leica lens with 10x optical zoom, which will give you a better zoom than one of these. When it comes to resolution for a video camera, you're going to get 520 lines of horizontal resolution. That's the standard for mini DV. As a still camera, you're going to get 1200 by 900 pixels, about a megapixel. Definitely not the kind of quality you would get from one of these Peter Lik photographs. One of the benefits of snapping off the base of the camera is it's actually going to cut it down by 2 ounces in overall weight. Altogether, it weighs in at 20.9 ounces. Take the base off and make it a digital camera, and it's 18.9 ounces. For framing your movies and your photographs, you can use the 2.5-inch LCD display that flips out the side, or you can use the viewfinder, which is a color viewfinder. The camera uses secure digital multimedia cards for recording still images as a digital camera. You can see here it ejects out the back. We in the labs agree the camera is easy to use. The buttons and all the controls are located on the back, making it simple for one-handed operation. However, the microphone is placed here on the top, and there's no option for an external microphone, which means up here you're going to grab a lot of ambient room noise.
Here's what we like about the Panasonic PVVM202. It's easy to use, it's small for a camcorder, and it has lots of camcorder features. On the downside, the battery setup is awkward, the flash module is a bit bulky, it's expensive, and it lacks an external microphone option. The price is $2,200, and it's available spring of 2002.
And now we're going to check in with Culver Health's Chris Perillo to see what he is up to. He is hanging out in the labs right now. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
I was doing well until I realized that tax day is coming up. So we brought in Tiffany Bass-Bucco, and she's going to be giving us some hints and tips on what we can write off so that we can save even more money as tax season comes even closer. Plus, I'm going to be showing you how you can print off a directory listing or a folder listing in Windows without installing any extra software, as long as you have a certain Microsoft product already installed, as most people do. And we're going to show you how to study for the SAT using your PC. All
if
that,
I'd only had that.
What, the SAT?
Well, the study guide.
Oh, I know, I was the same way. I wish, anyway, we better save some of this for the show. We need your live calls, though, to make it a call for help. Call us right now, 888-989-7879, especially if you have a netcam, and we'll save you in a few minutes. I'm going to get back to taxing and studying.
All right, good luck, Chris. Chris Perillo, you can catch him next after Tech Live on Call for Help. But we are not done with you yet. Just how dependent are you on your morning coffee? A new type of MRI scan is showing doctors exactly how your brain reacts to caffeine, and it just may explain those headaches we get when we miss a cup.
Many Americans view coffee and the caffeine it contains as an important part of their morning.
First thing in the morning, on my way to work, I have a cup of coffee, clears the fog. By the time I get to work, I'm mentally sharp.
Well, of course, there's a reason that that they think that, and that is that caffeine has a stimulant effect on the brain, and that's the reason that they use it to get that jump start.
Dr. Aaron Field and researchers at Wake Forest University and the University of Wisconsin are using new technology to see what's actually happening in your brain. Using perfusion magnetic resonance imaging, or PMRI, they compared the blood flow in the brains of caffeine users and non-caffeine users.
On one day, we gave the subject a dose of caffeine that was equivalent to roughly 2 or 3 cups of coffee. On the other day, we gave them a placebo, or a dummy pill.
The subjects were then placed in the MRI.
So this is a way for us to completely non-invasively, just by putting someone in the scanner, make an image of blood flow. And this is a measurement that until now required some invasive technique. And so it's very exciting for brain researchers to be able to do this non-invasively.
These fuzzy PMRI scans tell the story. The brightest image shows the highest blood flow from a regular caffeine user who hasn't had caffeine. Caffeine initially constricts blood flow to the brain, but in heavy caffeine users, the brain actually anticipates that and widens its blood vessels to make up for it.
I think it may explain some of the symptoms that people experience when they go without coffee. So, for example, the headache that we get when we miss our morning cup, it may benefit people to know that there is a reason for that. It's probably the increased cerebral blood flow.
While this is of little worry to coffee drinkers, Field thinks it could change protocols for certain medical testing.
Thanks for joining us today on this afternoon edition of Tech Live. Don't forget, for all the top tech headlines and product reviews, you'll find them at techlive.com and right here, same time, same place tomorrow. I'm Erica Hill. Remember, Call for Help is next.